Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
How's it going, podcast family? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 464. Phil Graham here, and welcome to the last day of March in 2026. Today, I'm going to talk about why you might want to fix your offer before fixing your ads if you're running Facebook ads that are not working. So a lot of people think Facebook and Instagram ads are like the only important thing, and I don't. I don't just look at the ads. I don't look at the campaigns and creatives and targeting, and that's it. I also look at the offer, because if the offer is not right, then you might have the best ad in the world, but it might not be able to save a bad offer. I've seen people blame Facebook, they blame AI, they blame the algorithm or creatives or targeting or any number of things. And sometimes it is one of those things or multiple of those things, but other times it's not. Sometimes the ad is not the issue, but the offer is. So today, let's talk about crafting a strong offer for your ads. Now, if you guys need help with your ads, with your offers, with your AI, if you're looking for one-on-one consulting or somebody to run it for you, just go to my website, philgrahamdigital.com, or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. We can set up a short Zoom call and let's connect. So I've got 7 questions to ask you that you need to ask yourself when it comes to your offer. So when you're running an ad, regardless of whether you are selling something or you have something that you're trying to generate a lead or schedule a call, that is an offer. And so here's 7 questions that I think are super important. And this is from trial and error, from experience, skill, and data. It's not just random. This stuff is really important. This stuff can make a difference. Now, I want to be clear. Sometimes it is the ad that's the problem, or the targeting, or, any number of things. So that's important too, obviously. But if you don't have a strong offer, you might be shooting yourself in the foot. Question number 1, why should someone care about your offer? Why would it matter to your customer or to your client? Now, I know that you know that, but are you doing a good job of actually describing that in the offer itself and around the offer on the page? Are you talking about what problem it solves? A lot of times people think they have great stuff, and you might have great stuff. You might have amazing stuff, but you take it for granted that somebody else would also think that without even knowing you or without being able to experience whatever it is you sell. And so you've got to remember, ask yourself, why should someone care? Why would they care? If they just see this offer, if they don't know who you are, if they don't know how you've helped people at all, and they just really pay attention to the offer itself, is there a reason to care? And if the answer is no, you definitely want to rework the offer. Question number 2, is your offer clear? This is super important. There are so many offers that are like pages long, and most people are looking on their phone, so it's like just walls of text, and it's not clear. Ask yourself, can people understand it quickly, like within a few seconds? Because if not, if it's not obvious, if it confuses people, then guess what? It's probably not going to work very well. Question number 3, is the offer specific? When you make an offer that's pretty generic and could apply to anyone and everyone, and it's not very focused or specific, then there's a good chance that's not going to do very well. But if it's specific, either to a specific avatar, a specific type of person, or it could be specific to a problem or a pain point that you solve, then it becomes a lot more relevant to the person looking at that offer versus something that is just general for anybody and everybody. So ask yourself, is this specific enough? Question number 4, and this is really important, is it compelling enough for cold traffic? This is super important. Some offers might be better just for retargeting, while other offers might be so compelling that yes, you can put that in front of cold traffic too. But if you've got an offer that's more suited for just retargeting, don't send it to cold traffic. Send a different offer that is more compelling or worded differently to completely cold traffic. That is super important. Question number 5, you want to ask yourself, why you? Why should somebody choose you in solving whatever problem you solve or whatever product or service you sell. Whatever your offer is, why you? How come you instead of a competitor? How come you instead of just doing nothing? How come you now versus maybe you later? You've got to ask all these questions. And how do you really answer that on a page where your offer is? Well, you answer that by having credibility and trust and differentiation on your offer page. Whatever your offer is and wherever it is, if you're not demonstrating credibility and trust and also showing your differentiation, and like I always say, not just showing the differentiation, but talking about how that difference benefits your customers and clients. If you're not showing that, then they're going to be thinking, why you as well? Like, I can just get this from somebody else, maybe somebody I've already heard of. So you've got to do a good job with your offer of demonstrating your credibility, trust, and differentiation. We're almost done. 2 quick ones left. Number 6, is there too much friction? So sometimes you might have a good offer. It might actually be super solid, but there might be friction, whether it's the price or maybe it's the landing page. Maybe they have to read through too much stuff to actually take action. Maybe it's not formatted well for mobile on the phone. Maybe there's too many steps. There's so many things that can cause friction. There's too many. I could cover a whole episode just on that, but make sure you're asking yourself, is there too much friction or is it easy for somebody to take action? Is it easy to not only understand the offer like we've talked about, but also to act on it without having to search for a button or scroll through walls of text? Make sure there's not too much friction. And then last but not least, number 7, ask yourself, can I explain the offer in a very, very simple way? If you cannot explain it clearly, like you would be talking to a 10-year-old in like 15 seconds, in a sentence or 2 at the most, that, my friends, would be a red flag. That would be an issue. There are exceptions, but if you don't have a simple offer, then it's probably going to be really tough. So you guys, make sure with your offers, ask yourself these questions and work on improving your offers, and always try and improve your ads too, of course. But make sure you are not ignoring your offers. And as always, just a reminder, it's always important to point out that every business is unique. Results can vary. There's no guaranteed outcomes. So always keep that in mind. I hope that was helpful. Next week, I'm going to talk about why some Facebook ads don't even have a chance from the very start, and why and how to avoid it. Until then, if you guys want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website. Podcast episode 464 is in the books, and I will talk to you guys on next week's episode. Have a great week. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.